Hello everyone. Yeah, so I'm Vaibhav, and I'm going to be the host. Today is your mentor for today's session, and I'll be giving you a brief on the game development and design and how the game industry works basically. Yeah. So to start upon, I'll introduce myself. Once let everyone join in. So before that, if you have any things in your mind, any questions coming into your mind, you can ask.
So Vaibhav, I have a question on behalf of the students. Uh, if a student wants to do freelance,
Yeah.
after learning the course, he wants to do a freelance. So what are the qualities one should have to, do freelance, and what are the kind of questions he should ask the client, and what is the kind of referencing and research he's supposed to do before starting on any project
Yes. Yes.
about the deadlines and everything like.
Basic.
Basically, this question is for if they want to be on their own, like indie game developers, they want to develop their own game. So how they should, what should be the approach for a student?
So if you are a game developer, the first thing you should ask for is the GDD. GDD is game design document, which I'll be telling you what is it in detail. So this GDD is kind of a bible for any kind of game. So everything from the color of the character, of his dress, of his skins, to what are the movements, what will be the sound, everything it's written in that bible. It's a kind of a document which is called as game design document, and you should ask that first. On once you get that, based on you have to understand what is the game all about. So once you understand the game very well, then you should, if you have any queries regarding the game, like the controls, movement, UI, whatever it is, you can ask, discuss, and then you should give your project timelines and the budget estimation of your work, and this how the things will should proceed.
Right. So basically, they should be getting to the requirement, right? Requirement,
Yes, requirement is the
scale
first
of the
important thing. Yeah.
scale of the project, and the actual the number of
Yes.
the levels and everything. Okay. So
Sir, what's the can I ask?
right, of course.
Yes, yes, yes. Sure, sure. Go
Sir,
ahead.
I am here, sir. I am pursuing my BTech final year.
Okay.
What is the difference between game design and game development?
Okay. That today in the session you'll get to know in detail. But a small developer is a programmer. Okay. Who codes and program the game. And designer is the one who creates the game. Means who design how it should be, how the character will be working, what will be the levels of it, what kind of weapons to be used. So he is the godfather, he is the god of the game, you can say. So he designs everything, he tells everything, and once he makes the idea, he designed that game design document which I told about is created by the game designer. After that, his work is to serve as a bridge between the whole team. The game development team is quite a big, like you have developers, you have artists, so he has everything in his idea. So he coordinates between the whole team.
Thank you, sir.
So which branch were you from, Shashi?
Sir, I am ECE, sir. Electronic and Communication Engineering.
Okay, okay. I'm also an engineer. I did way back in 2011, and then I pursued PG diploma in game development. Yes.
Okay.
Now almost 10 years of experience in gaming industry.
Great, sir. Great.
Uh, Guys, this is for everyone. Like all the students over here. So ask more and more questions. That is going to be, because whenever a presenter comes, he will come with a certain, subject or a breakdown of the subject. But when you ask the questions, he'll be able to, dig into the more breakdowns. So he'll be going into the more details. So that is very, very important actually. Those detailings and those insights is very important. So all of you, I'm I'm requesting you to talk and interact more and more, because that is very important in the industry. When you move into the industry after you are done with your course, so interaction is the one of the most fundamental thing, and the most important thing also. So you learn more and more with the interaction with your seniors and your leads while talking to your directors. So you'll be progressing in a faster way. So all of you, please interact with the your trainer and the your speaker today, Vaibhav sir. Vaibhav, we should start actually in a couple of minutes then.
Okay, yeah, we'll start at 12:10.
Cool. Sounds good. Hi Manoj.
Hi, sir.
Okay. How are you, Manoj?
Fine, sir.
Manoj, Vaibhav sir untaru. Ask him more and more questions. He'll clarify
Okay, sir.
whatever there is in your mind. So, Vaibhav, like a basic questions the students always have actually. So, which software is good for 2D games and 3D games?
There are so many tools available in the market, but I always recommend to go with learn Unity first. Unity
Okay.
will make you very stronger. You can develop a 2D game, 3D game, AR, VR, whatever you want. Okay, and it's free, and you can develop and publish your games. Uh, and after once uh, you learn Unity, you can switch easily to any of the platform. Apart from this, a good platform is Coco Studio and Unreal. I will suggest, but Unity, if you learn, your basics will be very great.
Right. So, Vaibhav, do you recommend learning Photoshop and all these small softwares before learning Unity? Like, does it help?
See, if you want to be, there are three different major stage: designer, then you have artist, and if you are developer. See, in any of
Right.
these three, if you learn anything, it's good for you. See, extra learning is always good for you. But if you but I'll suggest be master of one and be the jack of all. And suppose if you are an artist, yes, that is the main subject for you, Photoshop. If you are a 2D artist, but if you want to be a developer, then also the basics of Photoshop is important. It will help you understand, because once the artist give you all the images and textures, you have to work upon. And the third, if you are a designer, yes, you need to have a knowledge of on each of the platform.
Right. So, guys, what sir means to say, what Weber sir, means to say is certain times, there are certain very small changes. So, you should not be depending on the designer. You should not be calling the designer for very small changes in the sprite sheet or something which you can fix it by your own. So a little bit of Photoshop and some sideline software, that is always good actually. That will save your time. A little bit of it. So you can be an expert with the Unity, but yeah, definitely you should be learning a bit of other softwares also. Right? Does it make sense, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
See, I have a question, a very sound question. Salary and career. See, career and salary. I'll be very honest with you. Okay, I'll share you my experience. 2000, 10 years back, I was a student of game development, and I had the same query in my mind. And like, will I have a good salary? Will I have a good career in it? So I'll first answer your salary part. Okay, so I was in NASCOM NGDC Game Developer Conference. I was talking to one of the art director of Ubisoft, and he said, if you are looking for money now, okay, I'll give you your answers. The same question I asked, and he said, go to the parking lot and came. So I went to the parking lot, I with my few friends, and came back, and there was all cars. Mostly, it was about 20 lakhs, all the cars what I saw. Okay, so I came back, and he said, yes, this is the future, but for this future you have to work hard. And I'm telling you, like, game development, if you give more, if you run behind making your career sound, you have to develop your skills. If you are into gaming industry, if you run behind money, money will never going to, it will come, but up to a stage. If you run behind your skills, if you daily improve your skills, I tell you, after a few years, like, you will have a very good earning amount. And I tell you, like, see, money is not everything. We also started with a small amount, and to be frank, I started with a very small. When I was a trainee, I was given a stipend of 5,000. If I but my belief was I have to be a game developer. I started from there 10 years back as a trainee in a company, and today I have a huge Baiju. You all know Baiju, and I'm a senior game designer and developer there. So yes, huge experience. I have never left. I was having the faith that one day the industry is going to will have a lot for me. So you have to work upon improving your skills. Career is always there, and you will get salary also very good. Everything is good, but you have to stick to it. You don't have to demotivate and get out of it. You have to work more towards your skills. Okay. Yeah. So let's start the thing. So those who have joined, I'll first introduce to myself. Yeah. So I am Vaibhav. I have done my BTech in computer science, and then I taught for game development, and I did my PG diploma in from ICAT. And after that, like from there, in fact, I started my career in Hyderabad, and it's a great journey. A game development journey was very great. I have made more than 180 games till now on different platforms, and apart from this, 25 board games, and I have been 2 times nominated for NGDC Game Award. So yeah, I have got a good experience and more than 100 AR/VR projects. Even I have taken training of more than 100 game sessions on game development and designs. So I have a good idea, and I hope I will clear all your questions in your mind. Whatever you want to ask, I'm there to help you out. Okay. So obviously, in a day today, I'm just going to give you the glimpse of the gaming industry. Whatever questions you have in your mind before joining, I can clear you that. But once we enter into the session one by one, we will be learning a lot of things inside the Unity course. And for the Unity, I will also tell you what are the things required and not. Okay. So yes, I'll start my session. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes.
Sure.
So, introduction to gaming. So, I'll be telling you about gaming. So, the first question comes, what is a game? So, yes, guys, what is a game according to you? Anyone? Hello? Anyone? Whatever. Don't hesitate to stop yours. Just
A
speak.
ga- sir, a game is to enjoy
Okay.
and learn things.
Oh, correct. There can be thousands of definitions, Manoj, and you are very true and correct. What I'll say, I'll make it very simpler form. So I will say game is a communication language. Okay, okay. So if I know Telugu, I can talk to all of you. I know English, I can talk to all of you. I know Hindi, I can talk to you. But if I know Russian, can you talk to me? No. Okay, so we need some medium of communication so that we can engage and talk to many others. So how I am talking over here, I am passing my ideas as a designer to everybody through the medium of game. Okay, so I will, and now if I talk that any communication language, the first thing what you learn is grammar. Grammar is in English language, is in Hindi language, and in English language. So the first thing is grammar. Why? So grammar are kind of set of rules which defines the language. Similarly, every game has the grammar in it. Okay, the set of rules and design you create to make the games. Next is your art. It's again the visual things which is very much important. The next is the mechanics, the physics and maths. And this physics maths are realistic, not like our South Indian movies where Rajnikant comes, hit a bullet, and it divides into six bullets and 12 people dies. No, here it doesn't happen. You have to work on the real physics, and because it's interactive. Okay, so yes, physics and mathematics combination of that is good, but you don't have to do all that integration theorems and all that. You don't have to do. You need to have the basic understand of mathematics to perform your task. Okay, then comes your experience. As you say that you play game, Manoj, and you get entertained, you it's fun to play. So yes, it's the experience what you get while playing the game. So this is what the game is. Now you must all have played with toys, puzzles and games, but can you tell me the actual difference between all these three? Yeah, guys, anything. Don't hesitate to answer more. This don't think that you will be wrong. I'm there to correct you. You are now at the learning stage. You are not expert. We will not give you very tedious or complex jobs. For that we are there to help you. Yeah, but tell something.
Toys are there for playing physically in the real world.
Okay.
Puzzles are to solve them. So problem solving, like problem solving things are the puzzles, and games come under the. We enter into the artificial world and artificial environment completely. It's created by what we say, engine or something.
Yeah, true. I will simplify in a language, and the simplification can be when you play with the toys. You have just play. You just play. There are no rules, no goal. You can do whatever you want. But when you play with puzzle, you have a goal, but you don't have rules. If you have used Rubik cube, there is no rule for it. But there is a objective that all color should be on the same path. But when you play a game, it has got play always. Then you have a goal, and then you have a rules also. So all these three things makes uh, the game and difference from this. Then you comes with a difference like a game and a movie. So the movie and the game, there is just two major difference. If apart from this, these both are things are same, and the game is interactive and it gives you the experience. When you play the game, you get your own experience, and you think yourself as an hero. But when you watch a movie, there is someone else a hero. You just see a part and want it to be like that. And the second thing is games are made with real mechanics, whereas movies are not. Okay, so this is the major difference we have, that the games have mechanics while movie doesn't, and games are interactive and give experience where the movies are not. Okay, so if you have any question also coming in your mind, you can ask. Okay, so now what we understand with the help of what is game. So I'll make it very simple. I'll say games are simply complicated. Now, why simply and why complicated? Two different opposite words. So why two different thing is simple, because there are separate tasks for each of the thing. Why complicated? There are lots of tasks. Okay, like you have gameplay design, you have SFX, means sound effects, models, scripts, game engines, shaders, GUI, light maps, post processing, story, voiceover, music, UI, hell lot of things. Okay, and all these things you need to have an idea about to make a game. And this we will be learning all the things in our course, our design course, and this will help you to create your own games. Now, so technically, what is a game dev? So a game structure, if I talk about a game structure, if you play any game, you will have a startup and an introductory movie. Sometimes it is not there. It will have a front end with some game option like game modes, sound options, video option. Then comes the loading screen. Then comes your main game, which has introduction, gameplay, pause options. Then the game ends and credits and the game shuts. So this is the general structure. Now in this particular structure, you can modify according to your ideas and theme. Okay. Now, so to go further, the major important thing, if you want to be a developer or a designer of the game, you need to understand this thing. This is called a game loop. So what is a loop? Everybody knows, which repeats continuously. Okay, don't think as in programming language. Programming is nothing. It's a very simpler thing. I know many of you guys are having doubts like programmings are tough, because I have also done my engineering, so I know how the things goes on. But it is not. It is simple as your Telugu language, as your regional language, or as an English language. If you know that perfectly, then you can do anything. It is very simple to understand. So how I am telling you, just understand that. Okay, so don't look at all this. You have three things. Okay, I'll say if something has to repeat continuously, the game, whenever you play a game, you start until it doesn't end, something continuously goes on. Okay, so this is what happens. So there are three things which makes it a loop. First, the process. Second, the update. Third is the render. Okay, so I have a question. How many of you have played Super Mario Bros? Have you played Super Mario?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So very good. So you give the controls, you press arrow buttons and it moves. Okay, so the arrow buttons, what you press is the process. You are giving an input to your system using that. Okay, next comes your update. Now what is update? Now see, everything is animation. Suppose I am walking and I am doing like this, like this, like this, like this. So this is what, this is one image, this is second image, this is third image, this is fourth image. So these are four different kind of image which I join together will become the animation. Okay, so this is what update. Now our computer needs to, what he has to do, when you are pressing your key, it has to upload the first image and download the second image. then again download the second image, upload the third image. It goes in continuous cycle. Then this looks like this. Correct? You are pressing a button, until then you are walking like this. Okay, so this is your update process. And the rendering is the process from the computer, your CPU, your GPU, to the process to show it on your screen. That is your rendering process. And these three things continuously running till your games are there. So this is the game loop, and this is very important, because this, if you understand this game loop, now I am telling you, your 30 to 40% problem is solved. Okay, in the gaming, because every game has this process. So this is the game loop. So you need to recognize what is your game loop inside your idea. So what will be in the process, like what will be the input you are making for a mobile game, then you have to give tapping or swiping or joystick, such kind of control. If you are making games for console, the Xbox or PlayStation controls will be in use. If you are making for PC, then WSD keys, arrow keys, all these keys will be there. Now the update is the animation part, which comes out accordingly, your art according to your art, and the rendering takes place accordingly. Okay, so this loop, if you know, if you understand, and you know, on do you know where do we make games? Yes, Prashant, you have a question. Hello, Prashant. Prashant, you are there? You have raised your hand. Okay. Okay. So I'll be telling. Yeah. You know, where do we create our games? What do we known as? Anyone?
Game engines.
Game engines.
Gaming
Correct.
games.
Yes, we don't call it as a game software or something. We call it as a game engine. And every game engine in this world, whether it's a customized game engine for some games, and or it's a game engine for a public platform, everything is based on this game loop. So all the game engine works in the similar manner. Okay, so this is the gaming loop. To understand, yes, I'll give you the example. If the condition is true, the process is the control input what you give. The update entities are changing the player states, and rendering is the drawing the graphics and background behind it. Okay, so to make it understand more, what we do is basically we initialize, and when the game starts, you can think as say as the game started, and from here you get the game control. Now you started a session, means your gameplay started, and now your rendering things get started, updated, and you can see that the circle position is changing. So what it is doing, it is rendering the next scene to your buffer, and then from buffer it is. So this is the loading part which happens behind, where you see the loading of the game gets, and behind it is copying the whole game into the buffer memory. Okay, then the player gives the input, the main logic, the physics, game AI, collision, all these processes. This is a time synchronized unit. So you know, you must have already read, like, everything in this world is time dependent, and obviously our games are also time dependent. It works under certain kind of time synchronization, and that is called the FPS. So we say it one cycle per frame, or one frame per second, which is in the one FPS. All this process happens, and sometimes if the things gets delayed, you can run some wait mechanism also. So this is a particular kind of a game. I hope you understand. Now talking about game pipeline, like how does a game happens to be on the in the company. So obviously, see, it totally depends upon company to company how they wanted to make their games, what is their pipeline. But in general, I'm going to explain. So every game pipeline, game development process will have three major stages. That will be your pre-production, your production, and the post-production. In the pre-production stage is the major first stage of the your game. So what happens is
Vaibhav, sorry to interrupt. Some guys are waiting in the room. Actually, you need
just a
to allow
second.
them.
I have given access to everyone. Uh, no one is waiting. I have admitted all.
Okay, Vaibhav. You can go ahead.
Yeah. So the game pipeline, three major stages is there: the pre-production, production, and post-production. In the pre-production stage, suppose you have an idea, a pitch, like you want to make certain kind of game. You go to the investor or the producer of the game, and you have to send them a concept document, and you have to explain them using PPT or whatever kind of tool. So once that is made and they give you the go ahead on the project, the game designer designs the project. That is, he writes a document called GDD, which is known as Game Design Document, which is the Bible of the game. Everything regarding that game is written into that GDD, and this is the way. Suppose on a very big and a AAA game, there are a lot of people working on it. You as a single designer or 2-3 designer cannot talk to everyone every day and cannot explain the process to each and everyone. So GDD becomes a very important role in explaining the things. So if you have concern, most of your concerns will be solved through GDD. But if you have still more concern, yes, there are designers whom you can talk to with. So once GDD is prepared, the project plan gets prepared, and we go into the stage of prototype. So obviously, what is prototyping? Prototyping is kind of like making small stuff so that you get the proof that yes, you can make this concept. Okay, so now the proof is why important. So game development requires a huge lot of money involved in it, huge investment of money. So for that, you give the clarity, yes, this can be achieved, and this is the prototype of the product. We have given you the demo of it. Okay, so once the demo is done, we go to the concept arting stage. Some companies have concept art stage, some doesn't have. And once we are decided with the concept art, we go to the actual production of the game. Here, the designing team works on the design and helps the whole different teams like developers, programmers, or your artists, sound engineers, everyone to coordinate with each other through the medium of game designers. And the programmers program the game. Art production creates the artist team creates the art, whether it can be 2D or 3D, whatever kind of art. Then comes the audio production. Once that is done, we give it to the QA. So QA is quality assurance. That is the testing stage where they test the game. And once you are done, it anytime you get some kind of bugs, and this testers report again to the programmer or the team who are with whom it is concerned. And once they solve that errors, the game looks perfect, and then we move it to the post-production stage. Here we release the game, maintenance, customer support, patches, updates, all this release happen in the post-production stage. So this is the general game pipeline which is there in the game. So this way the game development works. Now the next important thing is you need to understand what kind of roles are there in the gaming industry. The first is the producer. So there are two different kind of producer. One is internal producer and the second one is external producer. At any role, once you grow up to a stage, majorly after from a game designer, you become generally the producer. Now there are two kinds of producer. The external producer take care of anything related outside the team. So that is getting external resources, freelancer, or your development team, or any publisher, any kind of PR contract. All these things, negotiation is done by the external producer. Internal producer will take care of maintenance, quality assurance, test management, whatever the plan has been made, is it done or not? All these things is the role of the producer. Next comes your publisher. So publisher, so guys, I guess you all know the publisher. The one who publishes your games is your publisher, and there are many publishers. They also work as the their major work is to publish on different platform with their name, market it, and even distribute the game to the small distributors and distribution channels. Okay, so major companies of publisher are like Sony Entertainment, you have Ubisoft, you have EA Sports, Rockstar Games. All these are actually a publisher game company. Okay, the one who publishes the games. Then comes your development team. The major thing is the designer. Is a very important one who design the whole gameplay, convince, design the rules and structure of the game. Everything is designed by him. So when we start, I'll give you the whole brief thing like what a designer uh, choose to do. Okay, so and then comes your next artist. So now here the artists are there for different. There are 2D artists, there are UI artists, there are 3D artists. So all these things accordingly happens. So if I tell you in a brief, like in the 3D, it is not a thing like you do the animation and it gets complete. In 3D, there are 5 different kind of things involved. First is your modeling. So you create the structure, then comes your texturing. And before that, UV mapping is also there so that that structure get your textures. Then comes texturing, the painting process. Then comes your rigging, adding joints and bones to your structure. Then comes your skinning. So if you stretch your hand, if you have watched movies like Incredibles, like your hands can stretch up to a lot. All these things is made by skinning artist. Then comes the animation. So animation stands at the 5th stage. So all these things done, and that is a part of the 3D artist. Now 3D artist can be all different or a generalist who knows all. Okay, so so there are different kind of things. So in our program also, like our program is also like, so it's for the artist, for the developers. For the artist, we will be explaining the whole art process of 2D and 3D, and we will be giving the designing basics. And for the programmer perspective, yes, we will teach the whole programming and designing perspective. And for the artist, yes, after once they learn that, we'll also give the idea of how to manage your stuff and assets to into the gaming platform, game engines, that is. Okay. So the next role is the programmer. So generally in Indian companies, you will find like one programmer for each game, one or two programmer basically. But if I talk about various big companies, there are lots of different programmers which are involved, and these programmers are the software engineers who writes the code for the games. And that the different kinds of programmers are like AI, graphics. AI is artificial intelligence. So apart from the sound, gameplay, scripting, UI, input processing, networking, all these things are different kinds of programmers which help work upon. So in bigger company like the one which you play, like if you have heard about Call of Duty, Rockstar Games, they have all these positions. But if you talk about small companies or medium level companies, there you need to proceed with the all these steps. So yes, we will be learning all these steps to learn better. Yeah. Then comes your level designer. They are generally under your game designer, the one who creates the level inside your games using some kind of level editors. Then come your sound engineers who makes the lovely sounds for you so that it becomes more attractive. Then comes your testers, the QA who test. They ensures that the game never falls, and whatever the designers have proposed, it is accordingly. They test every feature, compatibility, localization, all the process of the game. Yeah. So what makes for a good gameplay? So I'll always, when you design games, there are 6 major things you have to always work upon. The first thing is pursuing and achieving goals. The games fail because they don't have goals. If you don't have goals, people will, because you are the hero of yourself. The game is very interactive. You are your own hero, and if you don't have goals in your life, your life will be never be exciting. You will be having, if you have goals, you will be having challenges which will make the games and your life, both the things, very much interesting. Then comes an interactivity. Now the simple thing is, how do you interact with it? So see, when your players are going, suppose I'm a designer of a game and you all are my players. So I won't come to you in your ears, I'll take, you play like this and this is the control. No, I have to make such a medium through where if I speak, everyone should understand what I am trying to speak. So that is what interactivity is. The communication, as I told you, the grammar, how you set it as a designer is very much important. Next is your feedback about position relative to goals. For example, you have 5 levels and you have already cleared the first level, but I have not informed you where you are, and there is no way to get where I am at level 1, 2 or 3, or how much health do I have. If I don't tell you all this, you will play for once, twice, but then you don't play for longer time. And our main goal is to engage more and more people, give proper feedback so that they engage into it more and more. Then comes interesting choices required to achieve goals. Okay, so for example, you have a boss in front of it and there comes a pop-up. I as a magician comes and pop up in front of you and I ask you, yes player, what do you want from me? You have one choice. I can either give you a machine gun to fight with the boss or the chocolate. So obviously the interesting choice is, it is not an interesting, because obviously nobody is going to go and eat chocolate when a boss is in front of me. I will be always choosing. But if I say like I can have 2 different kind of gun, like one is pistol or one is magnum, so or AK-47 or something else, so or a grenade, so I will be having an interesting choice, and based on my choice my game can differ. Okay, and suppose in an open world you have north, east, west direction and you choose to go to the south, but in the south you have nothing, but if you go to east, maybe you find something else. So every direction will going to which direction is your decision, and according to that the game will continue. But there has to be an last goal, that is the objective of the game, which is going to get fulfilled anyhow. Next is consistency and fairness. Suppose if you pick up a coin or if you kill a enemy, then we should inform you. We should not bring more tougher enemy in front of him so that he loses and he stops playing your game. It gets irritating. Okay, so be consistent, be fair to your player, give it proper result, whatever you want to give, but keep it very fair. Don't cheat with your players. Next is avoid repetition. Same thing, if you repeat again and again, makes the things dull. So your life also want changes and you need changes. So gaming is all about like real life experience and how closer you look to your real life experience, and that can be turned into a game, and that helps you a lot. So this things 6 things makes the games very important. Then comes your pursuing and achieving goals. Like something needs to be achieved, always achieve something. So you can have long term goal, I can conquer the world. This is the complete game that I have to go. The medium term goal can be I can take over a city, and the short term goal can be I can win a battle. If you win a battle, you can win a city. If you win a city, you can win with the world. So this is how your game should be pursuing and achieving. Then comes the interactivity, the decisions you give so that the success or the outcome you have. I guess in your 10th standard, you all have studied probability. So if you know the dice has 6 faces, and if and chances of coming any of the face is 1/6. So that is what, and it's totally upon you what you want to choose. You want to, sometimes 6 are very important to go out of, and sometimes 1 is very important to get in. So the choices makes the things very different, and make the player a active player. Don't make him just a passive observer. uh, Let him ask, like, what is the player going to do. He needs to understand what is my next goal coming to come. Minimize his confusion. If you are very much confused, obviously the life is also hell, and everything is hell. So be very clear, be very minimize, optimize, and choose your list. UI should be very simple and consistent. This is how you create a good interactivity in a game. So what is a game is basically all about decision making, your goals, oppositions, managing the resource, game tokens, information. Okay, so this is what is a game. And so this is what is a small introduction to the game development. And now I'll be also telling you about like game engines you must be hearing. So the game engines are like, we are going to use Unity. Now why Unity? 70% of the games today are made on Unity. Okay, and Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty Mobile, all this has been made on Unity. So if you find a question that Unity is incapable of achieving a good graphic, then it's a wrong question. Okay, it's a doubt. Okay, they are not able to achieve it. If you know the good gaming, if you know the skills, if you have the skills, you know the basics, you can achieve it 1000%. Now next thing is Unreal, which is nowadays very popular. See, understanding Unreal, first of all, you have to be very, it's easier at the front end. So everything is pre-made and you have to just drag and drop. Okay, it becomes easier for you. Okay, second thing is, but if you want to customize it, then you have to work upon C++, which is very much tedious. Okay, it is, you need to be an expert of it. Okay, so you need to have an expert of it to work upon it, and then only you can progress. Second thing is the licensing. To publish a game, you need certain kind of license, and Unity is almost gives you a chance to publish your game onto 28 different platforms, whereas Unreal doesn't give. No other platform in this world gives that much. When like longer days, earlier days, if you want to make a game for an Android and an iOS, you need to have a different team, you need to have different timelines, and lot of resources, money is involved. Now with this kind of platform, Unity, Unreal, it becomes very easy so to make games and distribute it to anywhere. So we say build once and deploy at anywhere. That is one thing. Apart from this is uh, like if I talk about like there are many other engines like Scratch, Cocos, all this. Nearly 2 to 3% games are made on this. The major, then few games have their own game engines, their own specified custom engines. Like FIFA does have their own engine that is known as your Frost, and that is the game engine for the FIFA. So this is the game engine, and yes, we have designed our codes in such a manner that you can easily connect with us, like your doubts and everything. We will give you the whole basic idea of how to make games, and yes, you will be creating your own games. with some design changes or something else. So that is what is going to be there. Sir, is there any harm for about 12 plus in play battle royals? See, playing a game is never any harm, but you need to understand addictiveness of anything is harmful, whether it's gaming or it's drugs or anything. Okay, so play in your limit, it's good. There is nothing wrong in it. And gaming is an yes. Sir, is there okay? So I guess I have given your answer, Manoj. If an individual who wants to develop an entire game, then he should perform all those roles. Yes, you can see the thing is matter is like when you have big things, you need more people to manage the particular things, and you can't be expert of all. So you can know everything, but you can't be an expert of all. So when we make huge games, like big games, if we talk about, then we need experts teams. So that's why we have different roles. But if you have your own indie, as an indie, there are many people who have done. So if you have heard about a game called Asura, it's a first AAA game on Steam engine by two Indians from Hyderabad, and so they have created. So you can have a small indie team and you can create. So why are children below 15s are not allowed to play battle royals? Earlier it was allowed, but due to circumstances, our Supreme Court has decided this. There are various things depend upon it, and obviously there are gaming certificates also, like in the moving. Obviously, giving a raw knowledge, like in your first standard, we cannot teach you engineering. So similarly, there's in certain kind of games there are vulgarity, and there are abusive things also involved. So that's why we have to use different kind of we don't allow it at a lower stage. Yeah, sir. Game graphic depends on game engine or game designer. It depends upon artist of the game, obviously designer, how he chooses the game, and the game engine also, because how it is rendering. It doesn't depends upon the game engine, but it depends upon the platform, the kind of things you have involved, the programming and stuff and everything. Okay. You have any personal games designed by you? Yes, I told you I have made more than 180 games, and I have done freelancing on good games also, very big games, which I can take you the name, but you can't find my name because it's a freelancing project. Yes, I have worked upon PUBG, and I have also worked upon Candy Crush, this kind of games. So yes. Yeah. Any questions now you have? I guess I have answered everyone's question. Okay, one more question. How backend works? So backend is a very tedious job. So backend, there are two kinds of thing. One is front end, one is backend involved. Backend generally comes into the role play where you have multiplayer games, or you want to have data stored to your things. So otherwise you can store it locally and fetch it when you are playing. So now when you will be learning this course, we will give you the brief of it, yeah, in detail. Then comes, is game development subcontracted? No, it is not. It can be, but it is not. You can uh, uh, mostly they hire the people, then they go for a third party companies to vendors for develop this. Or the next thing is, yes, sometimes it is subcontracted as a game developer to a certain kind of people. Yes. To learn, should I have high end specs? Not too much high end specs, but not too low medium. You need to have a medium quality. For that, once you enroll, you'll be getting a mail like what is the things required to learn to have Unity. Every different kind of platform will have different kind of things involved. Different kind of. Sir, by playing battle royals, do we improve skills and knowledge how to design a game? See, if you want to be a designer, if you play only one kind of a game, then you can't be a great designer. You can be a designer, but you can't be a great designer. If you want to be a good designer, you need to adapt everything. You need to play all different kind of genres. You need to even play the girls game, like change the dresses. Okay, there is no harm in it, playing in it, because you are now the developer, you are now the designer of it. If you don't play, if you don't understand, then how you will create? So you need to adapt. So you don't think right now, you are thinking as a player point of view. You never know. Like I don't earlier, I don't used to be like a racing game, but my career started with a racing game, and the first 80 games what I developed was like almost a racing game. So kind of a racing involved in it. So what can I do? You can't, because see, when you, after learning courses, which company you are joining, if you are making the game for yourself, okay, then it's okay. Otherwise, yes, you need to have. See, that is a separate question, Manoj. Your play parents allow or not to play, that we can discuss later. Like you can discuss with me regarding the game development. Sir, which things to be take like license before publishing? Yes, you need to have platform licenses, and you need to have also the platform license. But Unity as a platform is free to use for starting, so you can use. So there is no things involved. And Android, it is a very low cost of $25 annually, means not annually, lifetime. So that is near about 1700 to 1800 rupees. In what do you mean by lag? Lag is a kind of a like your system deficiency, like of not holding that particular strength of the game. That is your lag. What is meant by patch? Okay, so for example, you are playing a cricket game, and you suppose IPL is coming, and I want to give up starting with a IPL sound. So that is the small different package I'll update, and if you download that, you will get in your game. That is your patch. So which platform is better for beginner, whether 2D or 3D? So there is, see, if you are a learner, if you are an artist, you can go either side, 2D or 3D. But if you are a developer, you need to learn both the things, and we will be teaching you both the things for obvious. But we will start with 2D and then we'll move to 3D. Yeah. Yes, guys.
Sir,
Anyone?
what are the basic programming languages to start as a game developer, as a beginner?
Okay. So see, obviously, see, when you start with a programming language, C is the basics always to be tell. I'll say, if you want to be a very good, very strong in programming, and you want to go and create your own game engines, then C++ is the language you should learn. Okay. But if you want to work as a game developers, a certain kind of AI developer, UI developer, or such kind of thing, so we will start with the Unity, where Unity supports three types of language. That is your C#, JavaScript, and Boo. Boo is Unity's own language, but we will be teaching you C#. So if you know one language very well, then it becomes very easier for you to learn the other language. So yes, we will be teaching you C# in the course. Okay. As beginner and hobbyist, along with job, what would be a ETA for development of good game with decent downloads? Okay, Pranav, I'll answer your question. And the next is, what are the requirements for beginners in game development? The requirements is like you should be have basic platform to work upon. You need to be very focused. If you are a beginner, you need to have a little good knowledge on your mathematics and physics part. Up to 10th standard is very much needed. I'll say up to 12, till vector mathematics that is needed, but we will be helping you with all this thing. And apart from this, your dedication is required. If you are dedicated, you can achieve anything anywhere. There is no certain kind of requirement. And for artist also, there, if you have a good artist skills, then you should go and probably choose your art skills, where our faculties will help you improve your skills onto the next level. Yeah. And Pranav, your question as a beginner and hobbies along with job, what would be a ETA? It totally depends. First of all, what kind of game do you want to make? There are more than 120 kinds of uh, platform and genres and sub-genres of game. So what is your game idea? It totally depends upon that. Secondly, I'll say the development process will be different, obviously. So a game can be made in a small span of 10 to 15 days. Even there are competitions like 48 hours competition where people create games in 48 hours. But if I talk about one, to be very precise, to be published for commercial purpose, then yes, it takes minimum to 15 days to maximum of 2 years. It depends upon how much how many how many different kinds of artists you have, how many developers you are. If you are single, obviously one guy will take more days instead of 2 3 guys. And secondly, it nobody can say how much time it will take for a download. You can be rich in a day. It totally depends upon your marketing, the mouth spread, how much people rely you, like Ubisoft games. And if I talk about Rockstar games, the second day it gets millions of downloads. People buy it with the help of with money, but sometimes free downloads also takes minimum of 12 to 24 years. So how your goodwill in towards the industry, how much people you know, how good marketing you do, it totally depends on that. Yes, agreed. As per your, what's the most useful C++ C sharp library you use? See, if you are totally towards Unity, go with C sharp. That is very useful. If you want to go with um, Unreal, C++ is very important. Okay, so it totally depends. But if I tell you like earlier days, like if you want to work on the game engine side, Pranav, then C++ is really very important, because most of the things are made out from the C++ based thing. Even your Unity, the the module on which they have created everything is on C++. So obviously C++, but C++ tends to be a little more complicated than C sharp. And once if you know C sharp or C++, one of the language, it is very easier to adapt the other language. The most important thing is your logics. How you're like, for example, if I tell you to make tea, so how you are making tea, how many steps you are involving to make the tea is more important, instead of like who is going to make tea, how much money I have to pay. All these things you don't have to think of. Your task is to make tea, go and make tea. So how you are proceeding for that? So if you are minimize your concept, your logics, then in 3 steps also you can create the tea, or otherwise you can even create the same tea in 7 to 8 steps. So it totally depends on. Yeah, plan. Yes, guys. Any other queries? Anything coming? Any questions coming to your mind? How does the download of the game gives the revenue? Oh, okay. How does it gives revenue? So there are different kind of things. You have freemium games that is free to play. Then you have game like paid games where you pay first and then play a game. So in the freemium games, what happens? You get from ads, from in-app purchases. There are a lot of things. You run some live operation and make some purchases over there also. So that is the way of earning. So the downloads, how the downloads helps the revenue is, the more the number of downloads, so the more the number of players are playing your games, the more number of playing your game, so they are using more times the other thing. So they will be using, seeing your, watching your ads more, they will be purchasing the things more. So that's why the revenue grows because of that hormones. Okay. Yeah. I hope you all of your questions I can satisfy you on with your queries.